This is the Horse Radio Network.
This is episode 797 of Horse Tip Daily. A different horse tip, a different equine topic, a different equestrian expert every day. Horse Tip Daily brings the world of equine knowledge to you one day at a time. Hi, Coach Jen here, and thanks for tuning in to Horse Tip Daily. Today's tip is from Rod Miller. Rod teaches principles of balanced riding found in dressage with the communication philosophies of natural horsemanship, creating a positive, progressive approach for his students. Today, Rod talks about lateral balance and provides a clever method to help you learn to feel lateral balance, or lack thereof. And we'll get right to our riding tip right after this message from IPHDA. The International Performance Horse Development Association, or IPHDA, is an online horse association providing its members educational opportunities and virtual horse shows in a wide range of classes, from ranch work to reining to barrel racing. IPHDA even offers in-hand classes, so there's something for everyone. It's easy and fun to enter classes, too. No long drives to the horse show grounds, no hotels, no scrambling to schedule sitters while you're away. Members simply sign up for classes and submit their video according to the class's specifications. Like a live horse show, you'll compete with others, get judges' feedback, and win prizes. You can learn more at internethorseshow.com. That's internethorseshow.com. And once again, I would like to welcome Rod Miller back to the show, founder of the IPHDA, who is here once again with a handy-dandy, useful, and I'm sure practical tip for creating a better ride. What have you got for us today, Rod?
Well, at the end of our last tip, I mentioned something. We were going to talk about how to develop a feel, because everybody that you talk to, they all say feel is something that has to be learned. And they're true, but that's true, but there's certain things we can do to help ourselves develop a feel. And the first thing we talked about, the first tip, was relaxing and using our legs and feeling our horse's rhythm, and that helps with our timing as well as our feel. But today's tip is going to be using a perfect circle and a video to understand and develop the ability to feel when your horse is balanced. Now, circles are part of almost every judged horse event, simply because to guide in a circle, our horses have to be balanced laterally, okay? And that's what the judge is looking for whenever they're judging a circle. And, there are all sorts of training tips and training philosophies on how to develop lateral balance in our horses, but they all require the rider be able to feel when their horse is or is not laterally balanced. Okay, so this tip is going to be on how to feel when your horse is balanced and when it's not. Now, since it's easier to feel when it's not balanced than when it is, that's what this tip's going to work on. Okay?
Got it.
What this tip requires is that the rider set up a visual aid for feeling balance by marking two circles on the ground and then riding their horse between those lines. So you're actually going to draw a perfect circle in the dirt. And you can use cones, you can use, drag your feet while you carry a rope with a center marker. And what I found at my clinics is that to challenge the horse, because what we want to do is we want a circle that actually takes, that our horse can't do, so that we can feel when they're out of balance, okay? So it's got to be small enough to challenge them. This isn't a training tip, because we know we've got to start bigger and train down to this. This is how to feel when your horse is out of balance. So we want this circle to be small enough to do that. And I found in my clinic, usually if you draw a 10-foot circle, like a 10-foot diameter circle, and then draw a 16-foot diameter circle, and you lay them out on top of each other so you've got a 3-foot track between the two, then you ride your horse in that track. You understand where that goes?
This makes perfect sense. We're creating a little tiny visual racetrack to go around.
Absolutely, a perfect circle. So then what you're going to do is you're going to try and ride your horse in the middle of that track. And what you'll feel, and you're going to do it at a walk and a trot both ways, and you're going to videotape it. And what happens is the rider will probably find that going one direction, the horse is going to lose balance and their shoulder's going to drop in, and their front feet, they're going to keep wanting to step on the inside track. And go in the other direction, their hip is going to drop, and their shoulders are going to want to go and step on the outside track. Okay? And it's going to just give the rider a feel of when their horse is standing up between their reins and laterally balanced, when they can stay in the middle of the track. And what you're looking for is when the horse isn't balanced, and you'll be able to feel that then, because you'll see on the line on the ground that, because a lot of times if we just try to ride a circle, our horse's shoulder may be drifting, which means their hip is dropped in. And we may think, well, we're still going kind of in a general circle, but our horse isn't balanced, and our circle turns into an egg or whatever. Okay, so this just gives you a visual of a perfect circle, and then you can, from there, feel when your horse is out of alignment. It makes it very easy to feel when your horse's shoulders or hips are dropping or drifting.
That's a very handy exercise.
Once you rode it, okay, and you videotaped it, now you know kind of what it feels like when your horse is not able to perform a perfect balance. So, but what I want to explain is knowing what to look for requires knowing what lateral balance is and how a horse's body must work to perform in a perfect circle, okay? So lateral balance is going to be the ability of the horse to contract their muscles on the side that is on the inside of the circle and lengthen their muscles that are on the outside of the circle, all right? That creates the arc in the body that all trainers talk about. Follow me there?
Got it.
Okay, now when our horses are laterally balanced in a circle, the hind feet will step into the track of the corresponding front foot's track. Okay, this means they are upright and between our reins and their legs. Again, what all trainers want out of a laterally balanced horse. So when you're watching the video that you made, watch where your horse's feet land. Okay, from the front, do the front seem to step into the same part of the circle with each stride? Okay, which means they have to go forward and across a little bit. And then does the corresponding back foot step into the same track? And you'll notice that probably if your circle's small enough to challenge your horse and you need this drill, your horse probably is going to be stepping either inside too much or outside too much, and the hind feet are going to be stepping under, and your inside hind will actually step into the outside front's track.
Aha. So if I had an exceedingly smooth and well-groomed riding arena, and you only went around the circle once, you would be able to see this evidence in the footprints in the footing in the arena, would you not?
Pretty much. If you can ride that small a circle one time, and it happens pretty fast.
Yeah, it happens pretty fast. So if I'm looking at those footprints in the footing, I should see two sets of footprints, one set to the inside of the circle, which is the inside front and hind foot, and a set on the outside representing the outside front and hind foot, correct?
That's correct.
So if I see three different lines of hoof prints, even for part of the circle, that's representing where the horse is out of lateral balance, when he's getting one of his hoof prints outside of those those tracks.
And I think that's why I recommend the video for this, is simply because you don't have to worry about riding it just once and stepping on over the tracks. You can ride it a couple times, and when you watch the video, it's pretty obvious when you're watching, if you know what to look for, where the feet are going. Like, you can see them step up and step right behind proper foot, or you can see it step across. And you can also see, when you start looking at the feet, you'll be able to see with that whole rib cage where, on the inside it's supposed to contract, which means that your shoulders and your hips have to come together a little bit. Your spine doesn't have a lateral flexion to it, but what happens is your shoulders and your hips both bend a little bit. Remember, this tip is about feeling when your horse is out of balance. You follow me? So, and it's very easy to get your horse to be at a lateral balance in a small circle. You'll be able to feel those shoulders drop and drift, because you may not feel it until you actually see it. You follow me? You'll see your horse come to the inside of that circle and say, oh, well, the shoulder must have drifted. Okay? And it's going to help you feel when your horse is out of balance. Because if we're going to fix the balance, we have to be able to feel when they're out.
Correct.
Okay?
See, because when they're laterally balanced, it's a lack of, ooh, what's that?
Right.
Got it.
Okay, and that's what this tip is about, is being able to feel when they're out of balance. So that then we can help people figure out how to get their horse balanced. First they have to be able to feel when they're out, and that's what this tip is for.
Well, handy dandy.
Okay. And it's kind of funny because what I've got is I've had barrel racers and reiners, at my clinics, and they try this drill, and they find a whole new level of understanding and feel of why their horses don't spin as well as they want, or they keep losing forward motion when they're turning a barrel, because both require a high degree of lateral balance. And if they cannot walk and trot laterally balanced in a 12-foot circle, they have little chance of having enough balance to do either a spin or turn a barrel fast or anything like that. So it's kind of fun when I get these horses that can do all these, compete at this high level, and I ask them to do this simple thing like trot and walk a circle, and they're having trouble keeping their horses balanced. But then all of a sudden we find out that, my horse has trouble staying balanced when he spins, or he loses his hind end when he turns the barrel. And so it's this whole circle drill is something that I use from not just teaching people how to feel when a horse is out of balance, but it's also a test all along the way of how laterally balanced our horses are.
Cool. So, and it's not a case of he's balanced or no, he's not. It's how balanced he is under any given circumstances. That's a great idea to kind of test it. Well, I'm having difficulty with a certain movement in my competitive arena. Do this test, and you may be surprised and delighted to find that fixing the lateral balance is going to make the performance better in another area.
It's all a matter of starting at the bottom and working up.
Cool. Tell our keen listeners where they can learn more, Rod.
Well, once they've learned to feel how when their horse is out of balance, they can get a hold of me through the Develop Your Ride website, and I have all kinds of information on there on how to develop your balance. But the first thing we have to do is feel when they're not balanced.
There we go. Well, thank you so much, and we'll see you again soon, Rod. And that's a wrap. To listen to more tips on equitation and becoming a better rider, you can go to horsetipdaily.com and look for the Experts drop-down menu on the left. And don't forget to support our sponsors here on Horse Tip Daily, because they make these podcasts possible. Today's sponsor has been the IPHDA Online Horse Show Association. Say that 3 times fast. And there's so much more. You can find them online at iphda.com or internethorseshow.com. The Horse Radio Network and the Horse Radio Network hosts are not responsible for statements of guests or their opinions. Use your own judgment when listening to the tips provided by the experts on Horse Tip Daily.